Okay, so today for wine training, we're going to be doing pairing between wine and cuisines. So Omar and I got together and we discussed everything, and it turned out he is a wine genius.
I'm not.
Yes, he's being modest. Okay, so we're gonna start at canapes. And
The what?
the oysters.
Okay.
We believe that champagne and sparkling wine goes excellent with those. So they pair really well because of something called synergistic umami effect. It's created by a combination of chemicals, and so with umami, champagne and oysters both contain it, and there's this like savory, rich, meaty flavor, and with like an older champagne, it would have more dead yeast cells, so it would like bring out that umami. So just really quick for umami, because that's kind of like a newer one of like, I don't know, over the past couple of years people have been throwing out there. It's a savory taste. It's described as meaty, smoky, earthy. It's one of the 5 basic tastes, along with sweet, sour, salty, or bitter. And then I have a little chart on the second page that kind of like talks about like tongue coating, mouthfeel, just for you to think about the next time you're tasting to see if you can taste it, because it's kind of something difficult to pick up on unless you're having like noodles somewhere or like something like that. So I suggest for the oysters, the crème d'Alsace sparkling wine, but also the Drapier. And it's because the crisp acidity, lemon, and grapefruit, the grapefruit for one, and the crème d'Alsace will complement the grapefruit granité. And then with the Drapier, it's got fresh apple, lemon, it's mineral driven, it's just gonna pair really well. And then we said with the scallops to pair with the Sauvignon Blanc, because the guanciale broth as well as the guanciale chip on that, the acidity of the Sauvignon Blanc is gonna cut through the richness and the fat content of the cured pork jowl. So yeah, the Sancerre definitely would go well with that.
I'm going to say that to Madeleine?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So the Madeleine, those kinds of breads are more dry, bitterness, more yeasty. You will have, it's better to pair with sparkling wines, dry wines, bubbly wines. Why? Because that's going to wash away. It's going to make your experience just a smooth, clean, round experience pairing with your food, you know? So for example, the Madeleines, also even though, for sourdough that we have with the bone marrow, we could do also very well with the bubbles, with the champagnes, also with the white wine, with a good acidity, it would go well as well. And yeah.
And here's some to taste, also because as we did in our training maybe 3 weeks ago, we noticed that there was like almost like a honey bread flavor to this. Almost like a brioche flavor to this, which is gonna pair well with our cargalow or madeleines as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. So if you guys want to smell and then taste, I know we've done this one before, but I feel like if we go over it again while we're talking about it for these canapes, it might make a little more sense.
And also the aroma is going to make a lot of sense for the Madeleine, no? That's effervescence and again that yeasty kind of aroma. It pairs very well, especially that dish. And also they have the cheese and you have the salmon trout. That's just
Okay, perfect. So next, the fromage. With blue cheese, I just did a little research outside of us speaking about it. So for blue cheese, it said Cap Franc would pair really well. So demain de le doublé, le chianchon. body, bold. It can stand up to a robust flavor such as blue cheese, and creates a delicious contrast. And then for the red hock, it said that a Pinot Noir would pair really well. So the Domaine Le Breuil, Bourgogne, France. The cheese is rich and meaty, and it complements the wine's subtle fruit notes and earthy undertones.
So, for example, for the blue cheese, it says bold. That I'm assuming that bold it means like a stronger, with more character type of red wine, meaning that it has some mildly tannins on it. That's because the cheese is stronger. I mean, you can taste it. Sometimes it's even spicy, and the aftertaste. So that would go. That's why they're talking about a bold red wine. I mean, do we have another one? Here you can think about, okay, what kind of red wine do we have with character? Know that was going to help you, pair your cheeses. With the red hawk, have you tried the cheese? It's mild, it's very creamy, it's not that powerful, not overwhelming in the mouth. So that's why for that one, yeah, it's perfect. The Pinot Noir, which is smoother that we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah,
It's always, lower tannins. It's more clean in mouth. So just thinking about how the fruit tastes, it will help you decide, what kind of wine you prepare with.
Also something which is interesting with the cheese is that I learned from. Thank you. So the thing which is interesting with the cheeses, and I think I sent you this video, Eric, if I'm not mistaken. So some of the best sommeliers in the world, I also realized that cheese, even though it's very popularized to enjoy with red wine, it's actually even better with white wines.
Yes.
Right? Like you're gonna have this acidity and the crispness from the white wine that's gonna pair even more with those rich flavors coming from the cheese, right? So to me, when I think about white wine, I will definitely go for the Sancerre. I think it's like a super easy, light, crisp, and not overpowering wine that can also be paired beautifully with any of the cheeses. So I think that's as much as we discussed that we want to enjoy the truffle boschetto first, then the red hop, and then finish by the blue caveman. When we're having like a 3 cheese platter. It's also cool if you guys can arrive at the table with. Would you rather go for red or for white this evening? Because both will actually be splendid with your cheesy selection this evening. And you will have like a lot of surprise guests. Especially that now we serve the cheese with the sourdough instead of the crackers. It's like it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful way of enjoying your cheeses too.
Question. So these wines are paired with each cheese, but most of the time they get all 3 of the cheeses. So is that kind of just up to you? What you?
Yeah, otherwise I think you can even go, like for example, if it's a table of 2, you can serve half a glass of wine for each guest, so half a red split in 2 glasses, or a red split in 2 and a white split in 2, and then you can play like this. You make them travel even more, like you bring them to an experience where it's something quite unusual, where you start, okay, you know what, like I know Joey, Kyle like to do it, for example, with absinthe, and splitting in 2 glasses, and I think it's like a very educational way, to make them try something without having to commit on the full portion.
Yeah.
All right, so then for the Boschetto with truffles, we also said a Chardonnay, our Domaine Thomas Saint-Laurent. The wine's acidity and fruitiness complement the cheese's pungent and sweet flavors, and then cuts through the creaminess of the cheese. And for Le Salade, we said for Burrata, Chardonnay, or Sancerre would be great. Good acidity, cutting through the cheese again. That slice is very important between something fatty or cheesy. And also, they would pair really well with the figs. For the Lyonnaise, we said the Sancerre blend of the Chateau Saint-Pierre Côte de Provence. A rosé's versatility and acidity complement anchovy and smoked black cod.
Also the burrata, I mean, just tasting the balsamic, that it's an aged vinaigrette. Also a good Chardonnay, an oaky Chardonnay would go very well, because it would just, it would balance out the flavor of the balsamic with the oakiness of the Chardonnay. Just making a parenthesis there. And then the onion chutney, this is the onion chutney, right? The
The Tarab is the beets.
Yeah, so with because it has the labne, which is a Greek. I mean, it's a yogurt mixed in with herbs. It has dill. It has mint. It has chives. So it has like this earthy, bitterness to it, but also that acidity. So I put bubble would go very well there. That air in there, the effervescence, and also the dryness would pair very well. And especially of course because it has that tart and again that yeast to it.
Pour le monde de partager. For the love of sharing. So for our shares, the bun is the Parker loaf. And we said again, like the hints of brioche you would get in drapé or cremando sauce, it's really gonna sell that brioche. And then also the saucier would be great to again cut through the fatty butter, that seafood butter. The wagyu.
Yeah, of course. So the wagyu tartare, since it's a raw product, but you still have that hemoglobina of the steak. ¿Cómo se dice hemoglobina en inglés?
Like the marbling?
No, the hemoglobin is like that blood flavor of the steak. So I mean, it's lighter, but it's not as tough when you have a beef cooked. So therefore, when you have a beef cooked, I mean, it's stronger and it's more bitter, it's gamey. So you would choose more like a more tannic type of wine. But since here it's raw, since again it's lighter, I would go again with the Pinot Noir. Even because it's smoother, very low on tannins, it has good acidity. And preferably if you can serve it chilled. I mean, suggested to be chilled. It's about 18 Celsius. It would go very well, because it would just cut through that mustard Dijon and those mustard seeds to it.
And that's great too to remember to pass the wine through courses as well. So say somebody got the tarte d'oignon or they got the wagyu tartare coming, and you're like, okay, I know they need a new drink, they already had a cocktail. Pinot Noir is going to go great with wagyu. It's going to go great with tarte d'oignon as well. It's medium bodied, it's acidic, it's an earthy red wine, and it pairs well with the French onion demi-glaze as well. And for pièce de résistance, the fromage amaise agnolotte. We said Chardonnay. The wine's creaminess complements the cheese, and
the spiciness of the poblano.
Spiciness of the poblano as well. And then poulet à la moutarde. I said to do the gamay as well because it said to have something with a lower tannic structure, so you're not going to necessarily want to do a cab with chicken, even though it does have that demi-glaze on the side.
But it's more fresher. It's not as pungent or bitter as that demi-glaze, because it's made out of fruits, that demi-glaze, even though that we do a reduction for 3 days of chicken stock, but at the end we reduce it and we have apricot sweetness, so it has more of that freshness and sweeter flavor to the demi-glaze. So that's why we chose this one.
Right, and again, it's a light protein, so you're not going to want to go super heavy. For the poisson, we said Sancerre. The saltiness of seafood dishes evens out the acidity of a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. It has a light texture, complements the lightness of the white wine, and a creamy sauce is cleansed between bites by the acidity of the wine.
Yeah, and also, the Sauvignon Blanc has good acidity, but as well, it has that dryness to it. And it's not complete acidity like if you would try a rosé, where it's complete freshness and acidic, So that's why, because of the fat of the protein of the butter, it would go well. That's one thing. It would go well with I know it goes well with a good Sauvignon Blanc.
And then steak de boucher. I always just remember it steak is bloody, cab is bloody. Just stick them together. So we have our cuvee blend of the cab, and we also have Cab Franc. So the tannins found in the grape skins and wine barrels delivers two characteristics to your taste buds: bitterness and astringency. So that was a big thing you were talking about as well, the astringency. And the tannins also kind of work to soften the meat and release flavor while you're eating the steak.
That was awesome.
Thank you very much, guys.
Honorable mention to the whiskey day.
All right, guys, thank you. Back to the kitchen.
Guys, do you have any questions for Jenny, chef? Any specificities on food in terms of
I guess
wines?
we can still add just when you brought up the point of the cheeses and how it's enjoyed, or like if there's like preference for white wine. I think we can definitely add to the list. Just like if you wanted to get either red or white wine, just like having both, just for reference.
Right.
Yeah, so we can still like work on that.
Yeah.
Because some people just like stick to
What they
white
know.
wines
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Also, it's up to like the person selling the wine's preference too, because there's a wine on here that I don't necessarily like, and I would maybe suggest something different
What
in
is
that
it?
course. I don't like our
Spill.
I don't like our rosé
Yeah,
in the
that's-
glass, and
that's-
I would just pick something different.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be specific
Doesn't
for it.
have- yeah.
No, I mean, as long as it covers like those points, you know, that
Yeah.
tannins and acidity, you can choose whatever you want.
This is just the jumping off point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and guests really love when you're excited about something. So
Exactly.
pick your favorites too and add it to the list.
Beautiful, guys. Thank you so much, everybody. Joey, you want to add anything?
Just make sure that when we are dealing with a lot of French wines too.
Yeah.
So make sure that you are up to snuff when it comes to the region of which these wines are coming through. For instance, our Sancerre, most Sancerres are coming from the Loire Valley. All of our big reds, our Cabernets, are Bordeaux, so it's going to be more on the west side of France, and how all of those impact the wine. Because if you know that, if you know where they're from, then you can dive a little bit more into why they have a certain flavor profile, and it's just a good backing to support your characteristics of the wine. You know, why they taste the way they do. Just the extra little layer goes a long way.
Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you very much, chef.